Property status, occupied. Registered residence, 0. Meter activity, normal. I didn't hear the email arrive. I noticed it because my thumb stopped moving. Daniel was standing by the sink, trimming basil like he always does. Slow, precise, focused in a way that makes everything else feel louder by comparison. He does it without thinking. Like it's muscle memory, like it's something he learned back when things were simpler. The kitchen smelled green and clean. Late afternoon light coming in through the window. That soft hour where nothing bad is supposed to happen. Where the day is already winding down and tomorrow still feels far away. I looked at my phone. Just an email. Daniel glanced up when I stopped scrolling. "Work?" he asked. I shook my head. "Just an email," I said. That was true. I just didn't know what kind. He leaned over, kissed my temple, then went back to the cutting board. The dog was asleep under the table, breathing slow, paws twitching like he was chasing something better than us. The email was from the city utilities portal. Subject line, action required. Service confirmation. That small automatic tension settled in my chest, the kind that comes from banks, doctors, government websites. Nothing dramatic. Just enough to make you sit up straighter without realizing you did. It said my account had been selected for an address verification audit. Routine, non-punitive, standard procedure. They wanted me to confirm that I did not reside at 909 Alder Lane. There was a checkbox. One click. Done. They used my full name in the greeting, first and last, spelled correctly. That detail always makes things feel heavier than they need to be. I had never lived at 909 Alder Lane. I didn't even think I had ever stood in front of it. Still, I stared at the number longer than I should have. 909. We live on the same street, different end. 909 is the last house before the trees start. No sidewalk, just gravel, weeds and a mailbox that always looks freshly painted, no matter the season. I couldn't tell you who lives there. I couldn't tell you how long it's been there. I could tell you exactly where it is. It's a normal house. That's the strange part. People don't avoid it because they're scared. They avoid it because they don't need to talk about it. Daniel poured 2 coffees and slid one toward me. "Want me to look?" he asked. He has a steady way of offering help, no urgency, no judgment. Like everything can be solved if you don't rush it. He read the address, then my name, then the checkbox. "Probably a database glitch," he said. "Just click it and move on." I almost did. That's how these systems are designed. You confirm the obvious, and your life stays uncomplicated. But under the checkbox, there was a line I hadn't noticed before. Reason for verification, service activity inconsistent with resident file. That made me pause. Under that, a reference number. Case AV4419. Daniel's eyes moved over it once. He didn't react. Mine stayed on the words resident file. Because who has a resident file for a quiet house at the end of a street? I clicked the help icon. A chat window opened. A typing indicator blinked. Then a name appeared. Marisol. Record support. She asked me to confirm my identity. Full name. Billing zip code. Last payment amount. I answered. She thanked me. Then she wrote, "I can clarify the request, but I can't discuss protected account details." I typed, "I don't live there, so why am I receiving this?" Her response came quickly. "Your profile is currently associated with the address in a verification workflow." Policy language. Clean, neutral. I typed, "Associated how?" She replied, "By contact and authorization history. I can provide an activity summary." Daniel put his hand on my knee under the table, not tight, just there. I said yes. The summary appeared as plain text, no formatting, no emphasis, no drama. Account activity summary for 909 Alder Lane. Authorization call, June 18th, 2019. 2:14 a.m. Call duration, 7 minutes, 32 seconds. Service change request, submitted 6 minutes later. Confirmation. Verification complete. Contact number on file, mine. I stared at the date. Daniel watched my face before he looked back at the screen. We weren't living here in 2019, I said. We moved in 2021. He nodded. So it's definitely wrong. He said it carefully, like he was placing something solid under my feet. I wanted it to be enough. I asked Marisol if she could remove my number from that address. She replied, I can initiate a correction request. It requires a recorded confirmation. She sent a link. You will be asked to state, I do not reside at 909 Alder Lane. Simple. I clicked it. A microphone permission prompt popped up. I allowed it. A small timer appeared. Then the page froze. A message replaced it. This verification cannot be completed online. Reason: prior audio authorization exists for this contact. Daniel leaned closer. Prior audio authorization, he repeated. He didn't sound scared. He sounded confused. Marisol typed again. You'll need to appear in person with government ID for reclassification. Reclassification, that was her word, not mine. She offered appointment slots, Wednesday at 10:30 a.m., Thursday at 1 p.m. Daniel squeezed my knee. We'll go, he said. We'll clear it up. I chose Wednesday. The confirmation email arrived immediately. Appointment type, address reclassification, reference AV4419, location, records annex, municipal building. Bring ID, do not bring additional parties unless requested. I read that last line twice. Daniel noticed. They mean crowds, he said. People bring friends. It complicates things. He was trying to keep it normal. He was doing it for me. I nodded. I said, okay. That night we ate dinner on the couch. The TV played something quiet we weren't really watching. Daniel kept his arm around me like an anchor. He asked what I remembered about 2019. Not accusing, just curious. I told him where I worked, where I lived, how I went to bed early because I had morning shifts, how my life felt smaller back then but clearer. And you definitely didn't make a utilities call at 2:14 in the morning, he said. No, I said, it came out clean. After he fell asleep, I opened the portal again, just to see if anything had changed. There was a new tab, Linked Documents. I clicked it. A file list loaded. One entry was already highlighted. File name, audio_AUTHA_2019-0618_0214.wave fingerprint match. Yes. Contact, my number. Under the file name, there was a transcript, just one sentence. I'm at the mailbox right now. I can confirm service should remain active. Please note I'm the only reliable contact for this property. The words were plain. The tone felt familiar in a way I couldn't place. At the bottom of the page, there was a button. Request playback. In person only. I closed the laptop quietly. I watched Daniel sleeping, his hand open on the cushion between us. I told myself the file was wrong. That was still the simplest explanation. But the portal didn't call it a dispute. It called it a reclassification. I slept badly. Not nightmares, not panic. Just that light, broken kind of sleep where your body rests, but your mind keeps one eye open, like it's waiting for something to move. When I woke up, Daniel was already up. I could hear him in the shower. The dog shifted at my feet and sighed, annoyed that morning had arrived. For a few seconds, I almost forgot. Then the word came back, reclassification. I lay there staring at the ceiling, replaying the night before. The email, the chat, The file, that single sentence sitting quietly on the screen, pretending it had always been there. Daniel came out of the bathroom, towel around his waist, hair damp. He smiled at me like everything was normal, like this was just another weekday. "You okay?" he asked. "Yeah," I said. It wasn't a lie. It just wasn't complete. Over breakfast, we talked about ordinary things: work, a grocery run, whether we needed more dog food. I watched Daniel talk and tried to match my reactions to his, nod at the right moments, smile where it was expected. Every now and then, my mind drifted back to the mailbox. I had no memory of it, no image, no sound, but my body reacted to the idea anyway. A faint pressure behind my eyes, a tightness in my jaw I didn't realize was there until it eased. At 10:12 a.m., my phone buzzed. An automated reminder. Appointment confirmed, Wednesday 10:30 a.m. Daniel glanced at the screen. "We'll leave early," he said. "Parking's a mess downtown." I nodded. The municipal building looked exactly like it should. Grey, square, indifferent. The kind of place that feels older than it actually is, because everything important has happened there without emotion. Inside, the air smelled faintly of paper and disinfectant. Voices echoed in the lobby, then disappeared into corridors. A sign directed us to Records Annex, 3rd floor. Daniel squeezed my hand as the elevator doors closed. "Hey," he said quietly, "this is nothing." I wanted to believe him. I really did. The waiting area was small. 4 chairs, a desk behind glass, no music, no television, just the low hum of the building settling into itself. A woman behind the desk asked for my ID. She scanned it, nodded, and handed me a clipboard. "Please confirm the information and sign at the bottom." I scanned the page: name, address, phone number, and then another address, printed smaller, like an afterthought. 909 Alder Lane. I circled it without meaning to. "Sorry," I said. "That's the issue." She smiled politely, the kind of smile that doesn't reach the eyes. "Yes, that's why you're here." She took the clipboard back. "Records officer will be with you shortly." Daniel leaned in. "You want me with you?" he asked. I hesitated. The email had said, "Do not bring additional parties unless requested." "I think, maybe wait here," I said. He didn't argue. "Okay," he said. "I'll be right outside." A door opened on the far wall. "Ms. Carter." That was me. The office was smaller than I expected. No windows, one desk, one computer, one chair on either side. The man behind the desk stood when I entered. He was older than I thought he'd be. Late 50s maybe, grey hair, no tie. His badge read, "Thomas Green, Records Officer." "Please sit," he said. I did. He folded his hands on the desk and looked at me like a person, not a file. That almost made it worse. "We're not here because you've done anything wrong," he said. "I want to start with that." I nodded. I'd heard that sentence before. Doctors say it. Police say it. People say it when they're about to explain something that won't feel that way. "This is a classification issue," he continued, "not a dispute." There it was again, reclassification. He turned the monitor slightly toward me. "Do you recognize this address?" "No," I said immediately. He nodded. "That's consistent with your statement." He clicked. A waveform appeared on the screen. Blue lines on a black background. My stomach dropped. "This is the authorization call from June 18th, 2019, he said. "We don't play audio in this office without request, but I want you to see that it exists." I stared at the waveform. It looked harmless, like sound always does when it isn't moving. "This call triggered a service continuation for that address," he said. "Your contact information was logged as primary." "I didn't make that call," I said. I understand, he replied, and I believed that he did. However, the system flagged a biometric match. He said biometric the way other people say weather. Neutral, uninterested. Voice print alignment was above threshold, he continued, enough to treat the authorization as valid. I swallowed. Are you saying it was my voice? I'm saying the system believes it was. Can it be wrong? He paused. Yes, he said, but not often. That word landed hard, often. I don't remember calling anyone, I said. I don't remember ever being at that house. He nodded again. Memory isn't required for authorization, he said. Presence isn't either. I frowned. I don't understand. He leaned back slightly. Sometimes people call on behalf of others, he said. Sometimes they don't remember. Sometimes they don't want to. I would remember, I said. I'm sure you believe that, he replied gently. He clicked again. The screen changed. This is why we need to reclassify, he said. The system doesn't know why your profile is associated. It only knows that it is. And what does reclassification mean? I asked. He met my eyes. It means deciding whether the association was accidental or intentional. The word intentional hung in the air between us. If it was intentional, I said slowly, what does that mean? It means your profile may need to remain linked, he said, until we understand the nature of the authorization. I thought of the sentence in the transcript, the mailbox, the certainty in it. Can I hear the recording? I asked. He hesitated. That would require a formal request. I want to make one. He studied me for a moment, then he nodded. I'll initiate it, he said. Playback is conducted in person, with supervision. When? Soon, he said. We'll be in touch. He stood. So for now, he continued, your classification remains provisional. Provisional, I repeated. Yes, he said. Neither resident nor unrelated. I walked back into the waiting area on legs that didn't feel like mine. Daniel stood immediately. You okay? He asked. I nodded. I always nod. As we left the building, my phone buzzed again. A new notification from the portal. Status update, classification pending. I locked the screen without opening it, because I already knew what it meant. The system wasn't asking who I was, it was asking who I had been.